This morning, I see John Souttar's been offered a new contract, a significant rise as well for a 2-year extension. Now, when I first heard he had the contract extension, I thought, all right, good. I'm not his biggest fan. I don't think he quite reached the levels we thought he would when he came from Hearts. But I thought, okay, right, we need squad, because that's something we always need to remember is we need a squad, a pool of players. It's not, because I think a lot of people at times think, they're just thinking about the 11 men on the pitch. Now, we need 22 first-team players, if you know what I mean, people that are going to push for every position. Like, I think the rule of thumb sort of is 2 players that can play and walk into the position, and one that's we can develop into a better player. Expensive and a long way off range. But then when I saw Souttar is alleged he's been offered a much bigger pay rise, wow, okay. But right now, my trust is in Danny. He obviously sees him as part of his future, part of the setup, the way he wants to play football, and then there's the old, a lot of people are shouting about is we need Scottish players in the team. I do agree to an extent, but for me, the most important thing about Rangers players that can play football and they'll fit into his way of thought. Whether if they're Scottish, great. If they're South American, great. If they're from Poland, great. That's my attitude. But I do get the Scottish angle. Now, another one is I've not actually seen it anywhere official, but when I got out of my bed at 6 this morning and went straight on a live. I just felt like it, but that meant it was 11 o'clock your time. So it was actually a good bit of chat in there. So yeah. No, here's the blag. Please go like my YouTube, follow, like, subscribe my YouTube. I always cringe saying that because I know if you wanted to like, follow, and subscribe to my YouTube, you would do it anyway. Anyway, moving on. I also saw Raskin might possibly been offered a contract extension. I'm all for that one, without a doubt, and I'm sure a lot of you are as well. He's not quite got there this year yet. That one game after he came back from the Martin fallout, but he was all right, pretty decent on the weekend there when we won down at Kilmarnock. So, okay, and that was the thing about the Kilmarnock game. I asked myself, was there anyone that didn't play well the weekend? I thought, no, they all did pretty well. There was, there was no outstanding outside Connor Barron, but I thought Big Fernandez was all right. But anyway, obviously when Danny did his ditto, his writing up about what he sees the Rangers, the traffic light system. Obviously, Raskin's part of his setup, John Souttar's part of his setup, but I don't think Lyall Cameron is. Now, I know a lot of people have thrown his statistics at Dundee, and they were great. And I do kind of think myself, well, why are you getting rid of him? But I don't think he's part of his long-term plans. Now, he might be. I would certainly keep him as a squad player, but will he want to do that? Because he'll be thinking about his Scotland international career. Or pushing to be a regular in the Scotland team, or at least part of the setup. So is it right to say it's a strange one? I don't know, but I don't think Danny sees him part of his plans. Same, Joe Rothwell, obviously that one, he's just disappeared off the radar, and I don't think there's been any information out there of him being injured. So I would imagine in the transfer period coming up, he's probably up for sale. Probably, I would imagine we would get what was it, 2-something million we paid for him? It wasn't a great deal, but if we get our money back in him, so be it. But I'm pretty sure we're a long way down the road with potential signings. I wonder if we'll go for a goalkeeper, because I see Liam Kelly's out of contract as well in the summer. Will we keep him? I think he's a good understudy, but can we get better? Absolutely. Same with Jack Butland. Jack Butland's been great this year, but it's his feet, it's his distribution with his feet. I think that'll be the one, if anything, that Danny's looking at. It won't be his actual shot stopping. It'll be his distribution with his feet, because every time the ball's at his feet, I'm like, you're like, oh, fuck. Yeah, anyway. Tav, again, I know he's always a hot subject. I would have him at Ibrox one more season as a squad player on reduced wages, just to help people bed in, even help Danny bed in, continue, because he's been there a long time, and I'm pretty sure his family are settled. His kids are Glaswegian. I know people always ask on the page, where do you see us to strengthen? I'm quite happy to strengthen everywhere. It's as simple as that, you know what I mean? I would say the left backs a biggie. you know, and because there's a few, it's a loanee thing, I mean, I thought hopefully we've learned a lesson with that. I'm all for loans, but not that many. But that's another argument for another day. We've got them at the moment. Some of them are doing well, as in Mikey Moore. I would definitely sign Cornelius full time. Although I think there's something uncomfortable with this injury. It's long term, but what is long term now? But keep in mind, we were told Mikey Moore would have been out till the new year, and we saw what he did at the weekend. So it's interesting times right now, and it just shows you. 1 week we draw with Falkirk, Souttar, and going down we do that at Kilmarnock. So yeah, there's still the naysayers on the page. So it was only Kilmarnock. What do you want us to do? I mean, that's my argument. I mean, okay, well, what do you want us to do? Okay, and now's another link. See this QR code here? That's a link to all my other social media, and it'll include my YouTube as well. If you click on that, it goes to Linktree, and you can find all my music, my other social media. So if you could click on them and follow us, that'd be great. Again, I didn't quite reach it yesterday, but I'm hoping to reach a certain milestone today, and the follows on the page. So if you know any mates that like listen to some fat idiot waffle on about Rangers, tell them to follow the page. A lot of you, a lot of you that comment all the time. I've said you don't actually follow the page, so you need to go and actually click on the actual page to follow. And that includes some of the regulars that have been on for years. You actually don't follow. You need to go to the thing under my. And on the page and follow, like, etc. Like as well, because that gets my numbers up, right? Okay, because I just want to reach this milestone today. Yeah, it's this league. We've not had one like this in years, and it's saying it is full of it's going to be a bit more drama ahead. There's going to be fallouts on the page because we lost a game or drew a game or didn't play quite well, but I think it's great what's happening. We are still in this league. I know Hearts are 9 ahead, and Celtic, I know Celtic would have a game in hand of us, but if we win at the weekend, that gets us closer to them, and that does do things mentally to them. And I don't want to, I don't want to say too much about
Nonsense.
But anyway, the whole Connect 4 thing is quite funny. That was, see if that was our manager, I would hope somebody would say to him, right, that stops now. You know what I mean? But anyway, enough talk about the Morlocks. So it's interesting times. What day is it? The date is Tuesday. So Tuesday's one of those funny days when there's not much happening. We've got the European game during the week, which yourself. We could do without that, but it's there. So anyway, as usual, thank you so much for following the page. Please like, follow, subscribe, everyone. And those of you who have been on the page for years, double check that you actually do follow and like me, because there's a thing on the page that says send out invites to people, and there is thousands of you, and I mean thousands of you, that the invites have been out for years. You can check it in your notifications. It's actually not that straightforward, that notification, but you need to find a bit to say where people have invited you to like their page. I found it the other day, and there's hundreds of pages that I've commented on. I've sent the invite to me. So anyway, but I always appreciate everyone that follows and likes and talks. The chat and the page this last week's been brilliant. I know we fall out at times, and there's moments of madness. And always remember, it's Rangers fans you're talking to. I've got the page set up so fans from other teams can't comment. There is the odd fan from other teams comment, but it's usually English, and they're obviously Rangers as a second team. But Morlocks, they don't comment. There has been decent ones commented and all that, and most of them go, oh, thank you very much, that's nice of you to comment, block. But yeah, that's maybe a bit wrong, but nah, just always remember on my page, it's Rangers fans. The odd one or two do slip through, and luckily there's guys and girls DM me right away and say, look, go to that link, go to that post, there's a gremlin on there, causing trouble, because I do miss a lot of comments, and that's another one. A lot of people make big long replies and I miss them. I'm really sorry about that, but I do try and go back. That's why maybe you get a reply from me 2 or 3 days later, because there is a section that says reply to these comments, and it's always hundreds that I've missed. I do feel bad about that, but anyway, it's a nice day today, as you can see. I think it's only about 20. What's the temperature? 25 degrees right now at 9 in the morning. A bit of a wind. I'm going to head to the beach. Thank you.